and really be able to push for another title. You know, Eastern Europe has been there for a while, you know, challenging for titles, winning titles at Spirit, and seeing if that magic dust can rub off on some of the other regions as well.
Yeah, I mean, China wasn't that bad at 2023 though, right? Like the Seattle TI, I think they got 3rd and 4th, so certainly could be a whole lot worse, but yeah, it tends to be those peaks and valleys, let's call it, with Chinese Dota, and hopefully with Tidebound already invited. Now they're not going by Tidebound, they're going by some other name, but apparently the oldest esports organization in China overall, All Gamers Global, are going to be showing up and joined by just one other Chinese team. So has that ever happened before? Only 2 Chinese teams at TI? I feel like maybe it happened last year.
Potentially. I feel like in the weird, wacky COVID TI years, there was potentially maybe 1, 2, or 3 may have been the smallest outside of 2. But I definitely know over the past couple of years, there was probably, you know, 1 Chinese team that was standing head and shoulders above everybody else, and there was like 1 qualifier that came through the last couple of years. So
I think it was 2 at the Seattle TI I was talking about, and they ended up finishing 3rd and 4th. So, you know, maybe they need the pressure. Maybe they need to, you know, feel like they got to stand up for that country pride. I wonder where the next TI is going to go as well after Hamburg. Any prediction?
Australia.
Let's go. Let's will it into existence.
That's the
secret.
biggest cap. I would love for it to go back to Southeast Asia.
Give me Tokyo.
Oh, yeah. Give me Tokyo. I don't know how realistic that would be. You are correct.
Filled with tourists is what it would be.
2023 was the 2 Chinese teams finished 3rd and 4th, LGD and Azure Ray.
Yep, for sure. The only 2 teams that were there as well. So good to see spirits are still high, by the way. Ponlo always with a big smile on his face. Have I ever told you the story about how he didn't know how to make spaghetti bolognese when I was when DPC, rest in peace, still existed, when I was over at the in LA doing BTS stuff?
He didn't know how to make bolognese?
No. Boiling water was like rocket science to him at that
point. My god, you're airing Ponlo's dirty laundry here live on stream while he's trying to
don't get me started on him doing his laundry.
Oh god, Jesus Christ, I couldn't imagine. Danog is, this is going to be the next Reddit thread, Danog is Ponlo's dad.
I mean, he calls me Dad Nog. So,
oh my god,
you know, that is kind of the way it is, but no, he's grown a lot.
Listen to.
He's grown a lot in like the past 4 or so years since that happened. So very happy for him.
Well, hopefully he's able to pull out the dub here, and we can go to a 3rd and try and extend this series here between Kalmychata and the Cyber Gooses. TA2000 opening up with the Terror Blade.
I mean, TA2000 Terror Blade, you're very happy to pick that one up whenever you get it, given the possibility. I mean, if you're a great Terrorblade player, I like it. I personally am not a fan of first pick Terrorblade. Like, yeah, you can flex it to the position 3 role, but I feel like you fall into the trap with some drafts of just having do nothing drafts, I call them, where just nothing happens. You don't walk around on the map. You don't really do much of anything. Doom is a hero that they actually frequently picked to be able to counter this TB. So I wonder if now this is going to be noticed playing the TB instead. Like, yes, Tier 2000 is great on it, but this is a specific response to it. And with the Shadow Shaman being banned out, I wonder if that's really bumped up the TB in priority, because we've been talking about the chicken fingers and how great it is as being a TB counter, and the fact that Kalmychata's taken it away maybe just, you know, was the tipping point to say, all right, let's just go ahead and pick it.
Yeah. So we'll see if the pivot is necessary here for Cyber Goose, or whether or not TA2000 still feels confident enough to be able to play through with this Terrorblade, and they just try and have some more of these other heroes to alleviate the pressure when it comes to the Doom. Seeing a lot more of these saving supports when you've seen the Doom come out, so could potentially be something along those lines that maybe they want to try and lean towards here. I feel like if you're Cyber Goose right now, you're just trying to get rid of a whole lot more of the comfort heroes. The Kalmychata's been running throughout these qualifiers, the open qualifiers, closed qualifiers, and really just trying to put them into a position that makes it really uncomfortable for them. Backs against the wall, final game, potential elimination. They have to sit here and try and find something different up against a team who is kind of in the driver's seat and really trying to look to cruise through this lower bracket. So they get rid of the puck and they pick the AA. I really like that that band into pick there from Kalmychata.
Even the Pango as well, right? Like, yeah, they didn't do it just then, but it's still just one of those heroes that not too much you can do about him being able to roll in onto the back line and potentially 100-0 you. So, yeah, feels good. AA, don't love seeing it, but if you're going to give yourself the best chance, you got to make sure you're picking it up for yourself whenever possible. I mean, let me have a quick look at the draft order. I mean, I feel like if they didn't pick this AA now, there was the risk that Cyber Goose would just like AA puck themselves, just because it's a great combination together. It can be super reliable. Kunka's already banned out, so I'm just looking now at what are your reliable setup options for the Ice Blast, because you can't have a huge Ice Blast every single time, and people are going to be able to move out of it a lot of the time. So what is still left remaining for them to be able to do it? Maybe Ember Spirit with a Chain Gang facet could be a viable option.
Maybe the Mars, but obviously the Doom's one that's been picked up here by Kalmychata, so that's probably going into Fortnite Man's hands.
I think Rinsix played it a couple of times as well, though. Okay. So they've got the flex potential to be able to make it work either way.
Does really kind of lock in that you're not playing TB as a carry if you have Doom and Mars.
Yes, correct.
So we'll see what they want to go for here. The Cyber Goose are going to go with the Jakiro Tusk combination, what you were talking about a little bit earlier today when we were seeing a little bit more Tusk coming in that first series.
It's just such a solid combo, and it doesn't reveal anything, you know? Like, a TB Jakiro could lane together, a TB Tusk could lane together, and it's totally fine and dandy.
So, let's see what the responses are now from Kalmychata. Ike, the mastermind behind the operation. Probably going to pick the Ponlo hero here. Respond with a Muerta. Central Ponlo hero as well.
I mean, it's just a classic TV counter, right? Like, that's really the thing that you're looking for. Going up against the Tusk, though, I wonder what they're really considering here. Like, okay, leaving potentially that flex there where it's still going to be your position 4 with the last pick of the overall draft. Of course, it could be Ponlo playing the Muerta, but even just something like, I don't know, I wouldn't hate a AA being played as the 4, and you go like a Clockwork, for example, just pairing it together with the Muerta. Of course, it's not going to be the Undying. Omni Knight's banned out. Tusk has already picked up. Ooh, Enigma.
Ooh,
it's a little rarer.
Enigma in a while. That's a Nodus classic, though. Like, that's like a hero that stands out when you see that name next to it. Is it just
Ponlo loves his Rubik? I gotta say. And you've got a Jakiro
to steal.
Yeah. Wouldn't hate it. Might be licking his lips at this possibility, but then again, Muerta is pretty decent against it as well. You know, just the calling, get it, just silence it from afar, dead shot, similar sort of deal. What is the thing that they're lacking right now? Like, you've got actually a pretty decent amount of push on Cyber Goose's side with the Eidolons, with Boots of Bearing, with TB. Just, you know, again, good TBs don't just use Metamorphosis for team fights. They use it for team fight into tower into farming. You know, like it needs to be all three. And I feel like that's an area that they're massively lacking right now on Kalmychata is how are you taking towers? How are you taking objectives? How are you opening up the map so that you can be in a position to contest this TB when he's farming?
And that's the question, does that really get alleviated by picking a position 4 for Ponlo, or is it you just trying to now pick a position 1 potentially for Kalmychata or Rinsic that can try and alleviate a bit of that pressure for you? And this is where you kind of, you know, drafted yourself into a little bit of a corner just because you've got a few issues that you want to try and solve here, but you've also got a few issues regardless to the heroes that you want to try and solve as well.
I honestly think the bans are more interesting than the picks this draft because, like, the Gyro's banned out, so now you don't have a response to the Enigma because the Bristleback and the Kunka are also gone. Same sort of thing with the Sven. You've got the Beastmaster gone, which would have been a great pick at this stage for Kalmychata, but it's just a really good hero, so it's never going to be removed from the pool. So what's really there that can, like, have the potential to do well against TB in lane, as well as Enigma hitting multiple units in lane, that has a BKB piercing disable and can farm relatively effectively and has ganking. Like, it's a lot to have to get in just the one hero. Is there even any POS 1 hero left that can, like, just hit all of these Eidolons? I guess if you played Doom as a 1, you could make it work.
Yeah, Scorched Earth. No,
so
not
then
really.
you'd have your 3 remaining, and then what?
Potentially Slark.
Brewmaster, if you play as a 3, like against the TB, it's not horrible. A lot of team fight as well. Don't think you hate a Monkey King into a Storm Spirit.
It's not too bad. Chira Jr. 0 and 1 though. Sitting on the Goose Egg. Turned into a Cyber Goose Egg, which is the 1. Ones and zeros.
Sure.
Come on, that was a binary joke, guys.
It was. I got a binary joke, yeah.
Come on. Pick it up, Twitch chat.
What else are there options?
Well, I guess the question is, with so many problems that need to be fixed here for this final... Well, not fixed,
Alchemist?
need to be addressed. Oh. Yeah? Some good Ags givers.
You give Ags givers, you can use the acid spray for the Eidolons in the lane, you buy a Blink Dagger and can jump in onto the backlines to help burst people down. Relatively low timings. Centaur.
So they're going to go Doom POS 1, it seems.
Yep.
With Rinsick.
So they feel like the Scorched Earth is going to be enough against Noticed, and you've got a good amount of damage into the TB. So I get confused. TA planned the TB. If he did want to make any sort of rotations through the Twin Gate. So I don't hate this overall. I'm still just a little concerned about... I mean, I guess they've got somewhat reliable setup for the Ice Blast, you know? Like Vortex, eventual Blink Stomp from Fortnite Man. But at what point are you actually going to get that Blink Stomp? I honestly feel like auras are going to be a little bit more important because you need to enable Rinsick to actually engage into fights, and he's just going to be running in a lot of the time. So
he's going to be like Blink, Midas, Radiance, BKB kind of deal, right?
And from Ponlo last game, he went his CK with just the standard build that he likes to go, you know, Tranquil Boots into Aether Lens. I think he had a 4-staff as well, actually. But I wanted to see a Boots of Bearing. And I want to see Boots of Bearing again this game, just to really enable Rinsick as much as possible, because they've got a decent amount of slows as well. So just to be able to get that, 1.5 seconds of slow immunity feels really nice, just to be able to reposition yourselves in the middle of a lot of these team fights.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things to do here for Kalmychata, and it seems, again, pretty straightforward. Is that we've cast, but a Danog is the simpler draft generally will win out on top because there's a lot more room for error. And if you're Kalmychata right now, it is back against the final game, and they need to try and pull something out of the hat here. We'll see whether or not they can do it here in the second game of their lower bracket series against Cyber Goose, who, in all honesty, probably shouldn't even be down here. They should be hovering up in that upper bracket, staring towards a potential game against either Na'Vi or Aurora. Would have been the Na'Vi game, I believe. So they're definitely kicking themselves that they're in this position, but if they're able to make this a nice little swift 2-0, get that confidence built back into these superstar players.
It'll make the lower bracket interesting as well, having them there as like the Slayers, you know, coming through.
Yep. The gatekeepers.
I mean, the big thing for me is still just like, I mentioned that they don't really have any great ways to be able to take towers on Kalmychata, and that has not changed. Whereas you've got an Enigma and you've got a Jakiro, and even TB to a lesser extent, to be able to do it on Cyber Goose. So you talk about simplicity. That's one of the big things, is just being able to open up the map like that. Reduce the area that enemies are able to farm, reduce their TP potential so it's harder for them to get across the map, enables you to play a little bit more of a split push style. It's, I don't know, it's just challenging in my eyes for them to be able to get away with this nice and easily.
Sometimes people rise to the challenge, other people wither away from it. So we'll see which one happens here for Kalmychata. So, what, 3-1 here for the bounty runes. Pack her up.
It's
Don't
over.
see that very often.
Shakira's actually gone for the Twin Terror facet. So just looking to be a bit more of a right-clicking menace, I suppose. Not really wanting the extra use of the Ice Path. I think the Ice Path one is counter-busted, but clearly he thinks he's going to be trading a fair amount in this bottom lane.
We'll see how it does pan out here with the Twin Terror facet. Tier 2000 pops a lot though.
Yep. I mean, magic damage against TV, Taylor's oldest time. Need to be able to limit his effectiveness. So definitely like around those big timings, like, you know, your level 3s, for example, that's going to be the big thing that they're looking towards in trying to get kills onto TA 2000. Once you've got a couple of points in the double edge, once you've got a couple of points in the dead shot, it becomes so much more vulnerable. But Solo's doing a pretty good job right now of just bullying away Ponlo so that they're not going to get a lot of this harassment for free.
Yeah. So we'll see how these lanes do pan out. A whole lot more pauses today. A lot more technical issues. I feel like we had a pretty easy breezy run yesterday. Maybe it was because we were on the last two series. I don't know what it is with the players today. Having a little
New patch. Games in beta. Who knows?
Games in beta. Yeah, that's true. Do
Also
you
just
subscribe to the copium of Battle Pass 2025?
Nah.
You're not subscribing to the copium?
No. I'll tell you about it later. I don't want to say anything more. But I'm just looking at this top side of the map where you've already got, you know, these Eidolons split up and they're going to be consistently looking to try and harass the Doom. Still just level 1, but with Scorched Earth coming off. Cooldown pretty shortly. Just trying to harass the Tusk with Chilling Touch as frequently as possible. Pretty decent way to be able to do it. Of course, AA, one of the longest attack ranges in the entire game. He'll be happy enough for him to go towards the Enigma as well.
Yeah, just throwing them downtown. So I guess the question that I have for you, Mr. Danog, is with Rinsick here on the Doom, what's kind of the game plan that we've got now for Kalmychata? Is it just Doom tries to farm up and they play as this kind of 4-man ball, or are they trying to just get this 5-man ball going? Like, what's the game plan that we've got here? Problems, unfortunately. He may have 99 of them. He's copping a lot of damage. Could potentially be our first blood. The snowball will be able to at least buy him a little bit more time. And he snowballed to the creep wave. And the Chilling Touch isn't enough. It is enough. Okay. It's the first blood going the way by.
Yep. Just getting that Death Rhyme stack up off the innate, so nicely done. Able to get him a nice little start to the game. I really want to see him look to try and get up in TA 2000's pace. Like, I know you're a Doom and you're going to be going Midas and all these sorts of things, but in my eyes, that's just a way to assist you with still getting net worth while being effective. And Doom's one of those heroes that, you know, it's nice to have the BKB, it's nice to have the Blink Dagger, but items don't really change how much you're able to output, at least in terms of a damage perspective in a lot of these team fights, right? Like, you're going to be engaged by, enabled by things like Stampede, by Storm Spirit jumping in first, all these sorts of things. You need to be there for your damage specifically to deal with this TV.
Okay, so more so play a general kind of game, whereas Rinsick is just looking to really be that thorn in the side of TA 2000.
Pretty much. Like, you need to try and do it, of course, as much as possible in this laning stage. I mentioned level 3 is the big power spike for both Fortnite Man and Ponlo, and they're getting close to it, but these things like pools happening isn't going to make things any easier for them. Also, this Sentry Ward has stayed up the entire time as well. So hopefully, for their sake, Ponlo's going to be able to get rid of it, which he does. Nicely done. Same sort of thing up on the top side with problems.
to Courier as well. Bottom side though, looks like they're going to try and go here onto Fortnite Man. The Reflections are doing a lot of good work. Whosom comes in though back towards onto Solo. Now they have the calling as well. They want to try and walk through here. Does TA2000. Extra bit of those auto attacks is finally able to get them the kill there onto Fortnite Man. And Ponlo wants to stand and try and fight here. He does have a dead shot up in a couple of seconds. TA2000 though has to be very, very careful. Ponlo, okay. Doesn't get it. Gets it off the back of the range creep. Almost got him within range for a few more of those auto attacks.
Very close. Almost able to secure that one. TB getting very low. Doesn't really feel like Enigma isn't going to be in any sort of position of concern for the next little bit, right? Like, they're just getting so much harassment in onto this Doom. Not even needing to drop the ice shards as well to make him consistently be taking a lot of this harass coming through from the Eidolons. How many denies has he got? 12. And they're going to get a kill most likely off the back of this. Yeah,
so many of these Eidolons just deal so much damage to that tag team. They're actually able to take away.
The boys are coming.
So many of them going in here against Ike as well. They've got so much time left available, and Noticed will get another one. Yeah, before that fight even went off, I watched Noticed deny 3 creeps in a row in front of Rinsik, and it's just... yeah. This is what I said in the draft as soon as I saw this coming out from the side of Cyber Goose. Noticed and Enigma, he's one of those, I don't want to say very few, there's a lot of really good Enigma players, but he is very, very good at playing that hero, and he's just dominating this lane.
It's what happens when all of the big Enigma counters are banned out, right? Like, that's the reason I was suggesting the Alchemist, is that it's just so much easier for you to contest. Like, I know Alchemist is not really a hero at this point in time, but in terms of your ability to just deal with these Eidolons, which are the things causing so much concern for the Doom, it really was at least in my opinion, kind of the best option left outside of maybe a Drow, just with the multi-shot.
This is what we've got now, so we're going to have to deal with it. On the charter, trying to go here on the TA2000. They get the calling out as well. They don't get that extra bit of damage, and so much slows comes in there from Solo, and TA2000 just whips himself around the trees. Has to be very careful about these dead shots. Knows that he is in a vulnerable position. With this extra bit of damage here coming in onto Ponlo, does Solo have enough to be able to get there? He got a lot of these big slows, and they're looking to try and see if they can get the kill onto the Muerta. He's going to be able to get away, whereas topside Rinsik, he's in trouble once again underneath his T1 tower, and it's problems and Notice giving him a whole lot of them. Unfortunately, not a good start.
Looking to try and build up a few stacks for him, but if he's not too careful, you can just look to try and get those taken away. No points in the tree dance, I suppose, for the Monkey King, so he's not exactly in a position to primal spring, and yoink that one away, but he's still going to be moving around and trying to yoink away the Wisdom Rune.
He's going to get it too.
On China side, yep. He's just a tree, what do you mean?
Slow. I'm just a tree. Ponlo's here. So they will have a fight. Solo's here as well. Boundless Strike comes down onto the Muerta. They do have the Ice Path as well, and with this extra bit of damage, they get themselves a free kill. They get themselves the Wisdom Shrine. Problems gets their own one on the Radiant side, and this is continuing to be a very fast start coming in from the Cyber Geese.
I like that. I mean, it is kind of snowballing out of control. It might sound a little dramatic, but I mean, you've got a net worth lead in basically every lane. You've got an XP lead in every lane. 2k net worth advantage. Your supports are getting close to getting
a tier 1 at 7.5 minutes in your safe lane.
Yep.
And then your off lane as well. Oh no. They're going to lose another here, Matt. This is the questions that I'm trying to answer myself, and unfortunately for Fortnite Man, oh, Ponlo's doing his best to save his buddy. He does a good job. So Ponlo, being the savior of Fortnite Man, at least gets him out of dodge for now, but T1 towers in the safe and the off lane. The mid lane's not even really going to be much longer either.
I mean, that amp damage could have been a difference maker, you know, finally giving them something to be able to maybe make a move out on the map, but I guess not even really, because Rinsik is just level 5, Fortnite Man is just level 5. Now, I know it's pre-10 minutes, but you're really wanting to be approaching those big team fight / pick-off ultimates as much as you can. Right now, it's just a matter of...
fight this.
He does, but I think Mirage should be happy enough just to make sure that you're securing your own farm across the board. Just don't let them take away a bunch of these stacks that you've made up for yourself.
I was watching Notice there nice and intently. Was at that level 6 for quite a while. Held off on the point, and as soon as the storm zipped in, he wanted to go for the black hole here. So it seems like they want to try and be aggressive. I feel like Mirage is the large beacon blazing across a giant sea of ignorance right now. Invoker quote.
What's that from again?
It's an Invoker quote.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It sounds deadlocky as well, though.
I'm a shining beacon blazing across a giant sea of ignorance.
I don't think I've played a single Invoker game. You know that?
No. That's actually quite surprising.
I'm not good with many buttons. I'm good at looking at things, like the map.
I mean, you only have 2 spells. I don't know what you're talking about.
True.
You only have 2 spells at once.
Just remembering all of them. Do you have any, like, ways to remember things? Like, Alacrity is WWE because of wrestling and fighting.
Yeah, because of the SmackDown. QQ. I mean, I just remember
QQ Walk
because so I used to do the Invoker minigame while I was in queue for a while.
True.
I'm a terrible Invoker player, but I can remember the spells.
I'm surprised that, like, as a Wraith King main, you're like, you know what? I like Invoker.
Oh, Rinsick. He's been found by the boys. Yeah, these gets a Doom out there onto the Monkey King. So
that should be a big
thing. Does avoid the Ice Blast though, but he still is doomed up, so he doesn't get that extra bit of healing, and then it's a lot of damage that comes in there from the Ancient Apparition.
Doesn't have any mana left, by the way.
It gets punched up into the air.
Mirage is dead.
Yeah, he has no mana left, and he just gets stunned up.
Neutral.
Oh. The fact that they brought the purple satyrs back. My goats. Everyone hated them. The Prowlers are awesome.
Yeah, awesome might be stretching.
The Prowlers are cool.
I do like the new ones, though. The little tadpoles. Marsh mages and polywogs.
The boglets.
The boglets.
Shout out one time to my boy Boglet. Very prominent in the deadlock scene right now in Australia. Tangent.
He needs a new name change to Boglet.
Well, it may not feel like it is, you know, as snowbally as what it is, but it really does feel like there's just very little map control coming out here for Kalmychata. It's going to be a big pick here for Mirage if he's able to at least convert this kill into something, but they just kill him. He just takes so much damage. I believe that was from the Malefice of Notice, from the low ground. Just makes it so hard for him to continue to walk in, and he just constantly gets ticked by these stuns, and Mirage is trying his best to try and get these kills, but it's just not working out.
Pretty... Oh, Jakiro D. Ward, what a surprise. Pretty rare that you're going to be dropping a black hole to be able to save a support, but certainly in that instance, the only one that's having, in my opinion, like a salvageable game is this Storm Spirit. You know, you can see that the damage potential is there. You can see that he could be the one to maybe open this map up a little bit. And he is playing a very sacrificial role right now, just to enable Fortnite Man to get something, you know, and at least he's got the Blade Mail now, Doom very close to being able to have the Midas, so some of that scaling is going to be answered. It's just at the cost of Mirage's game, so he's not going to be happy about it, but it's a necessary evil.
Yeah, and it's all about trying to see if this timings are even going to work out for them, right? Like, yeah, it's, you know, they're trying to create all this space and try and create all these times for these items, but by the time those items, you know, materialize, is it going to be too little too late? We already have a Blink Dagger so far here for problems. Like, there's Boots of Bearing that are already here coming up for Notice, unless he hasn't finished it. I think he has his courier coming towards him. No, maybe he's not finishing it, but, you know, 2.2k gold right now. He can go for a Blink Dagger if he really wants to here on Notice as well. It looks like he's going to try and complete some more of these auras, try and finish off this pipe. And Tier 2000, all the meanwhile, is just sitting back and farming. He's almost finished his Manta, at least now with the Midas up. They can try and do something, but I mean, this is
they need to do something, because if not, like, these Eidolons are just going to take this tier 2 tower top. You know, like, all the time.
Yeah, 2000, he's in trouble. He at least gets the Sunder out onto his teammate Problems, but it's not going to be enough for them. They do lose Mirage, though, and again, Ike just walks in and gets deleted. They're looking to try and see if they can take down Fortnite Man here, who is oh so low when it comes to this Centaur. Maleficus is up in only a couple of seconds here. So, noticed. We'll just try and walk into the trees and try and find Fortnite Man here. Problems will try and search for him as well. They found out the Tusker, and they will just get the Maleficus as well as the Eidolons to finish the job.
My question is just, where's the Doom? You know, like, he could have very easily joined in on that one, just going through the Twin Gate. He was farming up on this top side of the map. He has Doom available. That's a very different story if you're able to, you know, get into the center of that team fight with your Midas, with the maxed out Squash Jerk. He's actually maxing out the Devour. It is off cooldown at the moment as well, so probably should be using it. But, yeah, I just don't think you can afford to sit back this much and just wait for your Radiance. It's like you're playing one hero down, essentially, when you've got your biggest team fight impact spell off cooldown and ready to go.
Especially in combination with the Ice Blast and the Storm as well. It's kind of like help me, help you kind of scenario. The Doom enables the rest of these other team members to be able to try and play the game where they can have a few more of these items, and then maybe the next team fight, they don't need to have the Doom come into it for them to get a kill or two. Maybe it's, you know, they only require the Doom if they're trying to kill the TB or noticed. But at this point, it feels like he kind of needs to be all hands on deck. Everybody needs to try and play their part here.
Once again, though, speaking of noticed, he's just in the perfect spot at the perfect time. Even just dragging the creep wave away, making sure that they're able to hit this one uncontested. No need to even use the drums. They have the Ripper's Lash as well to be able to just wipe out these creep waves really quickly. And in the meantime, they're barely going to be able to get this tier 1 tower bottom. I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw mass TPs come down here just to be able to punish, but maybe they're just going to give it up, saying, you know what, we don't even need to play on our side of the map anymore. Let's just set up camp on the Kalmychata side.
Yeah, just get all these wards up in the Kalmychata side. You can already see, as you said, set up camp. This top side of the Dire jungle is currently being occupied.
Just trying to harass
the Cyber Geese.
I mean, they got
Rinsick. They have to be careful here at the tier 3. A lot of damage here on the Doom so far. The Ice Blast will do a little bit, but the Doom does nothing. Doesn't get out the ultimate. And again, looking to try and see if this fight can go forward. Ponlo gets oh so low key on the water. Eventually loses their life here to problems. And this is Ike losing his life. Oh, I thought that was going to be the old classic of AA just dying to TB illusions. But he's able to at least survive this time around here for Kalmychata. And like, what do you do? Like, what do you do?
Oh boy! You use your Doom ability in the first 17 minutes of the game is what you do. I mean, they didn't use the Stampede as well, so they've still got that potential. Centaur's TPing back, but they don't have the Crimson Guard, just a Blade Mail, and they're going to be able to get away.
You hate to see that. Shiro Jr.
Okay,
so they've walked in with the Doom. Now onto THG. But look at the black hole. Hits on the two of them. Beautiful science set comes in from Podno, though. So you really be able to stop a lot of this damage that comes forward from the side of Kalmychata. And they've been able to at least dispatch of a few more of these calls to the side of the Cyber Geese. And now Shiro Jr. wants to see if he can fight 1v5. Fortunately for him, Monkey King doesn't have the items just yet. So a big fight win because they clicked the Doom button.
Yeah, they clicked the Doom button. I was about to say, the tips needed to come through because that's the positive reinforcement. That's the behavior you want to be encouraging, right? Like, Storm Spirit ends up getting a triple kill off the back of that, and he very much deserves it, Mirage. Like, he has sacrificed so much of his game to be able to get them into a position where they can even look to begin to try and contest this. Very nice use, again, like we were saying, of the calling to be able to interrupt that black hole. They ended up getting...
Yeah, really need that BKB.
Yeah. It's going to be a while until he gets into it, though, but that's fine.
Take some time, but it's what we talked about just before, right? Help me, help you. With the Doom. If you get that Doom out, then all these other spells are actually able to do their work, and TA 2000 just kind of had to run. And that's what happened to Kalmychata.
I mean, we did say
like
that
4K gold swing.
Yeah, and we were saying he can't just sit back and farm the Radiance, and wouldn't you know it, like, the Blink Dagger, you can just buy it. He doesn't have it anymore because he's got the Devil's Bargain facet, so he just sells it for 85% of its value, and now he's close to the Radiance again. And it makes a lot of sense, right? Like, you just need to get that Doom on cooldown, and then you can buy something that's going to be able to help you in, you know, a way to... You buy the item to help you in the team fight, then you sell it, then you buy what you actually want. There you go, that's what I was trying to say.
We got there eventually, mate. It's perfectly okay. Sometimes we all have blunders. I have them more than most, but it's perfectly okay, all right? We're here to live and learn. We're a welcoming community. We're a loving community, okay?
Okay, let's not go nuts. Let's not tell lies to these good people.
Yeah, I felt like I was at like a nature retreat just then. We felt connected with the earth. All right.
I need to go to the hot springs now that it's winter here.
That sounds fun.
Sometime. Yeah, Mornington.
Definitely will. Cute little date idea.
That's like
anyways
6 hours away from you though.
Yeah, okay. Rather not then. Alright.
Doesn't work once. Do it again.
Now has the Aegis available. That's the counter to the Doom. And speaking of the Doom, he's very, very low here on Ren 6. So kind of needs to head back to base, and they are probably just giving this up because it does not look like anybody is willing to move towards this tier 3 tower. They tried to go for a little cheeky 9 there from Fortnite Man, but fortunately for him, the right clicks of the Centaur are not as strong as the Terrorblades.
This time around, though, he's going to have the Radiance. It's coming out to him on the career right now. Again, no jump potential, though, so you might need to be using... You gotta be very careful with Fortnite Man in his positioning. You can't afford to be putting yourself out there to die, just because you need the Stampede to really enable this Doom to join in the rest of the team.
I guess also one positive to the side of Kalmychata is the fact that Nodus does not have a Blink Dagger yet either. So they don't have that potential of that real sudden black hole. A little bit more of a build-up. But well, they get themselves a full interact, so you do 95% to a tier 3 tower. So you're feeling in a pretty commanding position now if you're Cyber Goose.
They're assuming that it's a Tormentor that's being... Well, they don't have to assume. They've got a ward there, so they know that's not exactly what's happening. Monkey King, is he going to reveal at all on the map? It doesn't seem like it. I'm going to run into him, but he will pop the smoke.
We're going to try and see if they can cut some of these trees here. He is being found out, and unfortunately for him, there's not really much that he can do being stuck inside of these trees, so he will be able to at least leap away with that BKB. Wants to try and get the TP away. How much damage can they do? Not enough. Mirage almost had the clicks to get it done.
It does mean that he... Well, I was about to say probably can't contest this Tormentor, but TA2000's just come up here with the rest of the boys, and maybe they want to try and get a bit of a jump onto Fortnite Man. He's pretty tanky, though.
30 seconds until they have Metamorphosis. Solo is in the tree, so they've been able to find out the Jakiro. TA2000 will just walk into literally the middle of them. And start hitting a crit wave. He walked through the entirety of their team. Nodus is in a very bad spot. So he's getting saved now by the snowball. Let's see what they're able to do here. Nodus at least gets a little bit more of that HP back in. Wants to turn around with the black hole. Hits onto 3 of the members. They get themselves kicked up back into the air, but they haven't converted on any of these kills just yet. The Doom goes out with there on Chiro Jr. Now it's TA2000. He wants to walk forward and see how much damage he can do. Mirage is getting very, very low when it comes to the mana. He doesn't have the attacks to get rid of the Storm Spirit, and it's just going to be Fortnite Man who will lose his life. Chiro Jr. He's been clipped.
Should be fine. Yeah. Positive. Never in doubt. I was clenching the whole time.
Ike wants him. Ike. He wanted him, but unfortunately, he got what he wanted. It just
didn't see the 20 stick charges.
Yeah. Just unfortunately wasn't what he expected.
DD bottom. Nice little bonus for Mirage, who now has the Kai Assange, so I mean, it's okay, right? They've got a decent amount of stuns. Kai Assange, so the spell I think is going to be very useful to be able to have. And instead of them claiming, like, they had the vision to be able to claim this Tormentor for themselves, and now Nodus is just going to get a freebie. More Eidolons to be able to just pump out and slam into all of these towers.
Well, they do have problems just clearing these waves. So, you can definitely see why he wanted to get a little bit more of those Eidolons. I guess kind of the question now is what's the road to victory looking like here for sort of Kalmychata. Rinsick moving towards a BKB, but it just feels like this POS 1 Doom is just permanently behind the 8-ball, and I don't feel like there's many fights left in the game, to be perfectly honest with you, Dan.
No, I'm totally in agreement with you. You know, it just feels, once again, just like it's been a little bit too passive. One Doom, two Dooms in 23.5 minutes is, well, technically mustard.
Yeah, he doomed Monkey top at like when he was like level 7. Doomed TB in the top fight towards the guy Rax, and then in that previous fight, Chiragini got doomed as well.
So, really looking to go for a bit of a big dive in here, trying to take out somebody, but won't be succeeding with it. No Blink Dagger yet still for the Enigma, and 30 seconds away from the Black Hole. It's just, again, another case of death by 1,000 cuts. They're going to be happy enough to be able to claim the ranged racks for now. Back off. They've already taken all outer towers. They've got the Tormentor, so really is just, again, what we were talking about. Set up shop, plant your flag on the Kalmychata side of the map, and do not leave. There's no reason to. There's such a small area where they can look to play on the map. They've got just the one observer ward near the Dire secret shop, just giving them any sort of information on the map.
And especially because they're looking to try and get towards those next set of items. They at least now have the BKB up on Rintik. But this is the fight. We're looking to try and go forward here for the Cyber Geese. Shirajuna out into the backlines. They goes directly onto Podlight. Wanted to see if he can try and take down Ike, but it's all about the front lines now. Fortnite Man goes down. There is nothing left available for them, and they just walk in. They black hole onto the Doom. There is no Doom available for these next 40 seconds, and they're just going to walk up onto the high ground. Mirage, though, gets stunned out by the Boundless Strike, and they get finished onto the Storm. He does have buyback, but is it going to really matter for them? Fortnite Men can try and walk in, but it just feels like they're just going to lose their entire base here. More of these lanes are starting to walk forward as well. They do just go directly onto Fortnite Men. About half HP, but they lose out there on
Midnight Pulse is doing so much.
He's the one that is able to fall back here. Chiro Jr. about half HP once again. TA2000 wants to make sure he doesn't overextend. And so he will continue to poke and prod. So Kalmychata, off the back of triple buybacks, they at least hold a Lena Rax on the bottom side, but they've just lost so much. Like, they had any semblance of control on this map. It is completely gone now.
Exactly. Like, that's the big thing. Dieback on the table. No real item progression happening. Doom, he's got the BKB picked up, but again, like, what is it actually going to accomplish for them? He's going into the Kaya Sanj. I really feel like it just needs to be a Blink Dagger. You know, you just... A slow game is not going to eventuate at this point. You know, you need to win a team fight, and the only way to do that in my eyes is off the back of the perfect Blink Doom.
Yeah, just, you know, catch TA2000, who has a Revenant's Brooch. Catch these heroes out. Try and do something. Try and be the aggressor, and hopefully you can, you know, maybe catch some unawares.
There's a lot of hope happening though, and you know, they're going to need a lot more than that. I mean, just comparing the vision game that they've got, you know, they just awarded one award that was inside their own base, but they've still all this bottom side, which is basically the only area that they feel safe because top and mid are just pushing in with super creeps. Any sort of avenue to get in there has got vision. High ground on the cliff, the right-hand side, which Ponder was just walking through right now, and they're going to see Ike as well. So they know they're comfortable enough to be able to make a jump onto anyone that shows on the top side as well, and they just place down another ward, just to basically, whenever you leave the base, they're going to know about it on Cyber Goose.
Like security alarm.
Oh boy.
The old perimeter. Wrapped around the base. Not really much. No problems. I don't know if they are okay. Pablo will lose a lot of his life here. Chiro Jr. does have to pop that BKB to try and see if we can get this fight going. Let's try and eventually convert onto this Murta, but he didn't lose his life for it, so definitely hashtag not worth it. But that's a black hole and arm. If I've ever seen one from Notice, that is too big cause to catch out in the black hole. And we will see Fortnite Man go down without a buyback. Same goes for Mirage, and it's a Rintik in the backline trying to get a Doom out on the solo, and it's not going to matter. If I was going to be Rinsick this game. Unfortunately for him, the hands go up and not many dooms are done. And that will be a swift 2-0 for Cyber Goose here as they move forward in this lower bracket. And unfortunately for Kalmychata and our little boy Ponlo, that is where they bow out of the road to the international.